But my troubles didn't end there. That very same day, King Stephen issued a decree. Every spinning wheel in the kingdom was to be destroyed. His soldiers turned the kingdom inside out. They piled every spinning wheel they found into a huge crackling bonfire that lit up the night. Of course, this made things a tad difficult for my textile business, and it plunged the entire kingdom into a terrible fashion crisis. I didn't see the princess again for 16 years. I don't remember where I heard she was living in the old woodcutter's cottage in the forest. Some little birdie told me, I guess. It's not as if it was a secret. In fact, the whole kingdom was talking about the princess. Recently, some ugly rumors had started to spread. People were saying that I'd made an ugly prophecy, that on the very day Princess Aurora turned 16, she would prick her finger on a spindle and die. I realized it was time to clear the air. Now, the royal family had not been kind to me, but my second rule of thumb is never hold a grudge. When I heard the king and queen were throwing a sweet 16 party for the princess that very evening, I was delighted. This would be the perfect chance to patch things up with the royal family. I decided to pay the princess a friendly visit. I would like to clear up some nasty lies about my visit with Princess Aurora that day. To begin with, I did not change myself into a wisp of smoke and steal into King Stephen's castle. Such nonsense! I simply walked past the guards dozing at the gate. Is it my fault the palace is lousy security? I found the princess in a high bedroom at the top of a tower. She had indeed grown into a lovely young woman, with long golden hair and full red lips, but her smooth cheeks were streaked with tears. And no wonder! She was wearing a frightfully unstylish dress in a hideous periwinkle color. It nearly made me cry, too. There, there, I said soothingly. I have a stunning black cocktail dress you can borrow for the party. I'm sure it will fit you perfectly. The princess broke into fresh sobs. It's not that, she wailed. My life is ruined. I finally met the man of my dreams, and now I have to marry a horrible prince. I made her take deep breaths until she was calm enough to explain. It seemed that on one of her nature walks, Aurora had fallen in love with a peasant boy, only to find out she was already betrothed to the son of King Hubert, her father's old golfing buddy. Tears streamed down her face. The princess begged me for help. Normally, I do not do charity work, but I remembered my third rule of thumb: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I asked myself, if I was in the princess's pitiful periwinkle shoes, would I want a clever person like myself to step in and save the day? The answer was simple. Yes, I would. Why not pretend to be dead? I suggested, thinking quickly. This will surely discourage the annoying prince. Once he's gone, you'll be free to marry anyone you please. Princess Aurora was delighted with this plan, and we promptly put it into action. For the record, I never saw a spindle, a spinning wheel, or even so much as a loose thread in that room. It's true that I helped the princess fall into a death-like slumber, but only with a perfectly safe, all-natural sleep aid. I gave her exactly 2 tablets, no more, no less, which is the recommended dosage for adults. The sun had just dipped below the horizon as she settled down for her nap. She carefully arranged her dress and fanned her shining hair out across the pillow. Before she closed her eyes, she asked for one last favor. Would you mind meeting my true love at the woodcutter's cottage? She pleaded. Just explain to him what has happened. I was tempted to refuse. I had done enough good deeds for one day. But before I could say no, the princess was asleep. There was a rap at the cottage door. Come in, I said. The door swung open, and a young man stepped into the room. He wore a red hat and a dashing cashmere cloak. I immediately recognized him as Prince Philip, King Hubert's son. What a pleasant surprise, I exclaimed. I was expecting a peasant, and lo, I meet a prince instead. And not just any prince. Prince Philip, the very person Aurora was engaged to marry. What are you doing here? He asked. Where's that cute country bumpkin I met in the woods? Then it dawned on me. Prince Philip was the young man Aurora had mistaken for a peasant boy, and by some charming twist of fate, he had mistaken Princess Aurora for a peasant girl. I was just about to explain this to the prince, but when I looked at him again, I thought better of it. His boots were caked with mud, he smelled like a horse, and when he took off his hat, his hair was a mess. How disappointed Princess Aurora would be when she woke up and found her true love looking as if he'd been run over by a hay wagon, I thought. Wouldn't it be better for the young lovers to meet, feeling clean and refreshed? Against my better judgment, I did yet another good deed. I'm afraid your girlfriend has been delayed, I said. In the meantime, would you like to join me for a cup of tea and a friendly chat at my office? You could tidy up while you're there. Prince Philip happily accepted my invitation. Leaving the cottage behind, I escorted him back to the Forbidden Mountains. In no time at all, I had the prince comfortably settled in the dungeon, as we affectionately call our office lounge. Then, over a cozy cup of wormwood tea, I told him about the princess. I was just at King Stephen's castle, I explained, and in the topmost tower, Princess Aurora lies asleep, dreaming of her true love. But you're never going to believe this. She is the same peasant maid who won your heart just yesterday. By the time I'd finished explaining, I had tears in my eyes. It was such a touching story. That just proves true love conquers all, I said. Of course, the prince was eager to see the princess as soon as possible. But wouldn't you know it, at that very moment I received word of an emergency at work. 3 billy goats had caused a traffic jam on one of my troll bridges. Quickly setting down my cup, I told Prince Philip I had some urgent business to attend to. Would you mind waiting for me here? I asked. I won't be long. It's true that in my distraction I may have accidentally locked Prince Philip in the dungeon, but dear me, there were plenty of employees around. All he had to do was knock on the door and someone would have let him out. I swear, with simpletons like this in power, sometimes I fear for the future of our kingdom.